All right.
Let's
Well,
go.
first game of the best of three here underway. I quite like the training spec for
Yeah,
Dzemp.
wow. Because we know how valuable experience is on tarantulas.
Yeah, another uh kind of buff to elite spec, by the way, stealth buff.
Yeah, yeah, for sure. But he actually ticks Fire Badger. That was his favorite uh, specialist. So nice for him to be spoiled for choice there.
And Tungdil going to pick up the Saber Opener as his favorite unit, with a marksman specialist to boot.
That's kind of cool. He's got the anti-air solve with just that singular marksman, and then he can just, focus on his ground-only army. Arclight Sabers, really powerhouses in the early to middle game.
I don't think he'll be too happy about this matchup, though. There's no good units for the Sabers to shoot at, really, and they'll just be sitting, well, there taking shots from the Stormcallers, presumably.
Yeah, I think I agree, but do you think that the Hounds are super strong here for Zemp?
They're fine. I don't particularly like them in Standard because they don't scale the way Arclights do,
Mm-hmm.
but they're
Yeah,
fine
that's
in round one.
I think that's how I look at it too. Is like Arclights just scale better, but Hounds sometimes you don't care if they scale well because at least they're performing as better defensive units than Arclights.
Yeah, Dzemp will definitely have to get into Arclights or Vulcans, I think, in the coming rounds. But for
Yeah,
now, he might be fine.
for sure. Just using the Hounds as a little crutch here in the early game, and we'll see if the Storms can get it done. I think they can. There's probably not a lot of firepower to take care of the Hounds here. It's gonna take a while.
Stormcaller should be coming out ahead. And yeah, the nice thing about the Hounds is those 5 units definitely stall the Sabers for a long time, and that's going to be first round going over to Dzemp.
Yeah, and Tungdil, not a lot of HP, so that's something to look out for. These tempo plays could be a problem, although standard, usually not a lot of damage.
Well, there is some damage over here. Bunch of good options available. Wasp pickup for Tungdil, though. It is the most annoying one to deal with. Neither of the players really have the units required to deal with the Wasp pack.
Yeah, for sure. Pretty interesting. It's hard to say whether Wasp is still good in the meta. Like, it's so different from the past where Jump Drive was cheap and everyone was using that. But you still see a decent amount of Wasp play. Like, Sarah likes it quite a bit, for example.
It's just annoying, right? Like, it doesn't have many good counters in the game, apart from basically Mustang range. So,
Yeah,
if your opponent isn't into, like, Mass Fang, or doesn't have Mustangs on the board already, the Wasp drop is just going to be annoying.
yeah. Yeah, not a bad pickup for sure. Sometimes you can even level them. That's the nice thing about getting it so early, round 2.
Dzemp, by the way, opting to go for Phoenix. We do have that marksman sitting in the middle there for Tungdil.
Yeah, nice and safe, I guess. But we'll see if it can really get... I mean, I guess there's not really good targets for now, so that's kind of a nice thing for Zemp here, is just staying away from any good shots.
Stormcaller's there, hitting well, but the Crawlers are starting to get in, and the Wasps now turn their attention to those Stormcallers as well. That looks like a good round for Tungdil, able to strike back immediately with the power of that unit drop and some good positioning.
Yeah, big difference there. Zemp will now get his Fire Badger with 10 more range, by the way, due to the change to the Fire Badger Specialist. We'll see if he keeps it. Not everybody does keep this unit in a standard setting.
Could just find its way onto like the left flank.
Yeah,
It's
good
also a
shout.
play.
That looks pretty good. Both players wasp swarming it up, so there's going to be a lot of wasps on the battlefield here.
And we see a bit of a classic there with a triple arc or double arclight purchase into the range on round 3 from Tungdil.
Yeah, really solid play there. And look, we are committing to the Badgers.
This is somewhat wild from Dzemp because he's playing so many units that just are a bit suboptimal in Standard.
Mm-hmm.
Lots of low range units. The Hounds, the Fire Badgers, even the Phoenixes without Elite on the bar against a marksman that's already on the board could be scary.
Yeah, I do agree. I'm really excited to see, though, how the Fire Badgers perform with their 10 extra range and just, I don't know, committing to them this early. It does look pretty cool. And there's lots of crawlers.
They are quite cheap and so are their techs. So having that additional tankiness on the board for not a lot of investment could pay off and gain some tempo.
Yeah, we'll see who
The
can win the
wasps,
air
though.
battle here. That's the big
Yeah, these
story.
wasps are a bit of a problem for both players, to be honest.
Oh, they're almost extinct, though.
The
Oh,
phoenixes will come out ahead. That's an insta level on the phoenix back from Dzemp.
that's pretty good. That's what you want if you're in a Phoenix in these standard games. At least get some levels.
Another wasp
wasp.
swarm.
Amazing. But the amp core is something you at least got to think about.
What would you throw it on, though? I guess it's good on the Fire Badger, but it doesn't really have a purpose for Tungdil. The hackers are coming out. Hold on.
That is early. Wow. But he's got his arc lights already like complete, so I think it makes some sense.
Has he somehow like been converted to this play because of how his best of 3 against Apuchi went?
I think that's extremely possible, yeah.
Because that game was exactly the same, but Apuchi was the one playing this, and he went for early range arc lights into range hackers.
Yeah, absolutely. These players are playing really fast, by the way.
Yeah, they're not thinking too long. They know what they want. The wasp swarm there, though, quite nice. We'll actually be able to take down the
Wow.
Phoenix. That's huge.
And the tower? Eventually?
Yeah, I think so.
Wow, that's huge.
Really nice play there. And the hackers did not have range just yet, so this debuff might just gain a little bit of tempo so
Yeah,
that he can get to
exactly.
the next round and give them the range that they need.
Yeah, that's perfect. I mean, that's what you want. Like, there's certain units in this game where if you have tempo with them, it's amazing. Like, for example, boats. Like, if you do a boat turn that you win, it feels so much better.
That's a big turn. Dzemp now down to 2.4k as we enter round 5.
Yeah, what the heck? Ooh, additional deploy. Let's go. Both players want it.
Oh, we do get the range on the hackers. One more picked up already.
Yeah, selling out of the sabers. We don't need them anymore. Hackers are very good against ground units.
But look at that army of phoenixes on the other side from Dzemp.
Yeah, not gonna lie, that is very scary. Now, they will be very distracted, shooting at whatever's being hacked constantly. And we do have a Wasp, so I don't know. I could see Tungdil losing to the Phoenixes this turn, but hopefully he can just strike back with like a big Wasp turn or maybe Mustangs, Marksman.
Dzemp doesn't run shield, but he does run that quantum, so
Yeah.
could be quite scary. There's no EMP on the marksman here for Tungdil.
Yeah, we'll have to see. I mean, it's classic hackers can't shoot up, so we'll see if the air army has a chance.
Yeah, those marksmen and those wasps will definitely have to work quite hard. Let's see. Hackers now should start to hack some of these fire badgers.
Yeah, I mean, it's looking fine on the ground, but yeah, I think I even don't think the Wasp can take down all the Phoenixes. I mean, when there's like equal amount of birds as there are to Wasps, you know you're in trouble.
Oh, and the marksman, no range, will walk into its demise. And that's a good turn from Dzemp. Lots of birds still alive.
Yeah, huge damage there. Oof.
We'll actually put Tungdil down to sub 2k.
Yeah, I'm curious if we'll see Quantum Assembly.
It's a really cheap tech, so might not even be a bad play this turn.
I saw some gold cards, but yeah, they don't want anything. I think they know exactly what they want. It's all going to be down to the anti-air, basically. It looks like Wasp is going to be the choice. So what techs are we going to see on the Wasp? We got Shield, we got anti-air, we have range. I think double tech is very much possible here.
Tungdil just going for range here. Sorry, shield.
Yeah, that's quite nice. I wouldn't hate seeing like one more tech, but I think he's going to put his money into other things. We have an oil coming out, burning up all the crawlers, could be pretty strong here. Even burning hackers, by the way. Hackers, like, they don't have much HP.
Yeah, this is kind of scary. And Dzemp has just picked up 2 more Phoenixes on this turn.
And range picked up for both players, a bubble. I actually think Tungdil has a decent shot here. I mean, he's got, what, like 60 Wasps, each with, you know, energy shields, so 120 Phoenix shots.
Still, though, these Wasps I don't think will be enough going forward. Dzemp can pretty easily go for something like Mustangs.
Yeah, exactly. Really unclear who's really got the long game here. I mean, maybe you just got to argue it's the Phoenixes, right? Can we get fire involved and burn the Mustangs? You know, we'll have to see.
Decent turn here. Did manage to burn all of the right side. And the Phoenixes are not even doing too poorly. They're taking their time, but same thing with those hackers getting stuck on the shield.
Seems like the Fangs just killed a lot of the Wasps here.
Yeah, and Dzemp another turn. That's actually almost going to be game.
Crazy.
And
Yeah,
round
Mass
7, we're
Phoenix
going to
is
get
great.
unit drop here.
Oh, Typhoons. That is big, big, big for Dzemp here. Big Saber. Probably selling it. What's he going to do? Fortress AA? Is that cope? Do you just go Quantum Assembly here?
I mean, I think Quantum just looks really good, yeah.
It does, yeah. And he's anti-airing the Typhoons. I think that's a wonderful move.
It's not ideal in the long run, but he only needs to win one round, so it's probably a nice play here.
Could you elaborate on why it's not good in the long run?
I mean, Typhoons are just not that long range of a unit, right? They're kind of stuck at 100 range. So in a long range game like this, where everything is going to be sitting at like 135 plus at the bare minimum, sometimes even 150 plus, they will tend to struggle a lot. So
Yeah,
that's why it just doesn't scale well. But if you just need
yeah.
one round and you just need them to kill wasps for a turn, it's fine.
Yeah, that makes sense. I do like then that Zemp is putting them like all the way in the back. That way the Wasp will come to them. They'll stay nice and safe. And yeah, it should crush them.
Well, we do have quad Fortress AA, and from the looks of it, no Quantum just yet.
Oh, right, because there's additional deployment slot as one of the cards. So we were able to make 4 of them. Well, that's a nice pivot then. We're not shooting the
He
barrages
needs to
though.
get through though. Okay,
Man,
there
we're
we
sitting. We're actually nerfed by that that nerf from a long time ago to the range of the Fort AA. It's not going off. It's just not going off.
go. Yeah, that's crazy.
Did he not temp range? Like, what is happening?
Okay, there we go. I mean, these salvos look pretty good. Phoenix is going down.
Yeah, wow. Big, big, big comeback here. Even with the salvos taking a long time to get going. Like you said,
Wait.
the Typhoon's not scaling. Do you think that's game?
Oh my god.
Wow. Oh my
It
gosh,
actually is.
that was crazy.
Well, this is why you click Quantum.
Actually, good shout, yeah.
This is
I'm
why.
really impressed. The additional deployment slot was sick. Getting 4 forts with AA all at once, wow.
Yeah, it's a pretty good unit, right? Ground-based giants, best anti-air.
No, for real. It's a weird one for sure, but man, is it good against Phoenixes.
Yeah, but this is exactly why I also run Shield. If you run
Mm-hmm.
Shield and Quantum, this is not a problem at all. But
Agree.
I think
And it's
even if
not
you
even
have Quantum
expensive.
here and no Shield, yeah, it's really cheap. I think Dzemp really should have clicked Quantum last turn, like
Yep.
the turn before this even, because it's just like such a cheap investment. And if you see your opponent is disrespecting the Phoenix, it's never going to be a bad click because they're gonna struggle to get into decent enough anti-air.
Exactly, yeah. It's so cool to see Phoenixes back though. Like I know they didn't win this game, but just seeing them again being all over the board is so nostalgic and it's so powerful.
Yeah, this was close, mind you. 239 for Tungdil.
Yeah.
Um, this was not some type of like blowout.
No, 100%. I mean, I'm shocked at the result. I thought the Phoenixes had it.
Yeah, so did I.
I mean, the Typhoons felt like a really lucky break there. And I think they were, but yeah, just not respecting the Fort AA, not taking the Quantum, just the mistake that they needed.
I legitimately think if you replay that round and all you do is just click Quantum on the Phoenix's last turn, then Dzemp would win.
Yeah, agree. I mean, you're paying 350 to basically revive like 14 or 16, whatever it was. Like it's so many Phoenixes for just 350 bucks.
Well, there's no point in dwelling on the past, though, for Dzemp, as you'll have to get into next game immediately. Luckily for him, he's not out, but that's got to sting a little bit. And we'll have to see if he can recover from that game one.
Yeah, for sure. These best of threes, that's when the sweat comes out, because if you lose your best of three, you're out of the tournament. So now Zemp's got a reverse sweep, go for a 2-0 here.
And are we going to get another long-range game? I feel like Dzemp has been mostly playing defensive so far, even though we have seen him play some aggressive packs.
Yeah. Yeah, it's definitely unclear. I don't know if it's like based on what specialist they receive determines it. You know, there's a lot of thought processes, right? It can be like based on who you're up against. Like, for example, some people will always aggro Flower Fairy. Some people may prefer standard versus standard against some other players, and then some people will do it based on what pack they play, and then some people will mix it up 50-50. You know, they sort of coin toss and they say, this game I'm going to aggro, just so that your opponent can truly never know what you're going to do. So I'd be curious to get into the minds of some of these players and figure out like how they decide this.
Oh, absolutely. It's always one of my like favorite moments is like listening to some of these people that we bring onto the cast, and yeah, we have that interview with them and we just get to know, okay, so that was the thought process behind those plays.
Yeah, absolutely. There's a lot to think about in Mechabellum, that's for sure. And tournaments are, you know, the craziest environment for bringing out, you know, mind games and stuff. I mean, in ladder, I have like no mind games whatsoever. Like, it doesn't matter who I'm going up against. Like, I'm just doing like, I pick my favorite pack, I pick aggro, like no matter what, and that's it. But in tournaments, like you can prepare, you know who you're up against like weeks ahead of time.
Yeah, I actually tried to do that a little bit, but it didn't end up working. But you can sometimes kind of theory craft comps against specific players because you know what type of techs they run. And there's not many units that have tech counters, but some of them will allow you to play different comp. Anyway, game 2 underway. Here are the packs.
Yeah, pretty strong stuff here. Quick supply, Tarantula, just great. Honestly, Tungdil's packs are like my favorite packs ever. What the heck? Amazing.
Yeah, some quick picks too. Farseer specialist there for Tungdil with the Fangs and the Sledgehammers, and Dzemp going to pick up the Marksman specialist with the Steel Balls and the Fangs. Steel Ball Fang, not a pack a lot of people like to play because of the difference in speed between those units, but looks like it's just going to be another long-range game here.
Yeah, interesting. It's so cool that people are just not afraid to pick steel balls anymore. Do you think that's because they've realized steel balls are like sort of fine in standard? Or do you think it's more so that they just want to play standard and so they'll just pick that pack? They just want the specialist, right? Like marksman specs here's fine. They want to play standard, so they just pick the ball and deal with it.
I think it's a bit of both, but Steel Balls just have good matchups all around, right? Like they've got a good matchup early on into Spider, they've got a good matchup into Sabertooth, just period. They're not the worst into Stormcaller because of how fast they are, and the only really bad matchup they have is Sledgehammers because, well, they just can't get through them fast enough. But it's just a nice early game unit, and it allows you to get a little bit of tempo to just build into something different, even if they might not fit your late game comp.
Yeah, that makes sense. Just sort of leverage them for the first 3 to 4 rounds. If they perform badly, you just sell them, and then this way you can pick, you know, your favorite specialist and still be able to play standard.
Yeah, exactly. And here you can see, right, like, the Steel Balls don't really have any counters. Like, Tungdil only has Arc Lights and Sledgehammers, and the Steel Balls are doing a great job tanking.
Yeah, they definitely performed. I think they were better than the Sledgehammers here. Although, maybe not. Oh, okay. I spoke too soon.
Couple of Fangs still alive, but it's a close round, and I don't think you can be too like upset about this if you're Dzemp. You've got the hit points too, 5k hit point starter.
Yeah, not too bad. Would you pick the crawlers here? I feel like I actually wouldn't for once.
Yeah, it's a bit of an odd pack. Like level 2 crawlers can be powerful, but into Arclight it might just end up feeding, especially into that Saber now, Saber Badger that's been picked up by Dzemp.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, there was Typhoon offered, which, okay, sure, probably was never the pick. But the Badger, I think the Badger's legit.
It's not even, I think, about the the other units that were offered necessarily, but both players already being into Arclight
Yeah.
might feed the experience into them too quickly. But it is nice getting the additional deployments, so I can understand it from that perspective.
Yeah, no, I think you're right. I think that just simply Arclights existing, those are something you don't want to feed, right? And the crawlers just feed it every single round.
Well, let's see. They might get some tempo here, of course, as level 1 arcs will require 2 shots to get through. The Fire Badgers, though, definitely don't mind too much. The Marksman here is available too for Dzemp, by the way. Does get access to that specialist of his.
Yeah, that's right. It's looking all right here. Gonna one-shot the Arclight if it locks on. Oh. Not great locks.
Close round, but yeah, those Fire Badgers are tanky. 11k, 10k hit points per Badger. Hard to deal with when all you have is Arclights and Fangs.
For sure. Man, those Badgers are so strong here.
And they're quite fast too, making their way over to the tower. They might just win this round. Yeah, they will.
Another close
45k damage, by the way, on those Badgers.
That's actually crazy. Oh my gosh. Early incendiary bomb here.
A fan favorite shows up again.
I guess it just looks great, right? And the experience will go towards your army evenly, right? That's how that works?
Yep, it's like any other spell. It will just get distributed amongst the units that are still alive on your board.
Yeah, I asked because I think that fire is gonna kill like frigging everything.
Yeah, if it doesn't get shielded, which it won't, because Tungdil's already out of money, that's painful.
Yeah, I mean the blue crawler is certainly going down. The storms will fall. Maybe like one sledge lives, but I mean fire does 70 damage every 0.2 seconds, so basically 350 DPS. So I mean sledges die in 10 seconds. You know, storms die in like 3 seconds. I mean this is a lot of DPS.
And I think it's much better here for Dzemp than it is for Tungdil. He went for the fire too, but it's just less to hit. Like those Arclights don't care too much. The steel balls will get through. The Fire Badger is the same thing.
Absolutely. He's just got the HP to make it through. Losing the Orange Man may be painful, although maybe he makes it out.
Oh,
maybe
he'll walk through.
Taking less damage with that skin, perhaps.
Could you imagine if that was a thing? Please don't, Zevs. Don't get any ideas.
For real, though. I mean, maybe it'll give them a good idea. Just not tie it to skin, but like give you modifiers or something.
No, no.
I need my vanilla Mechabellum. Keep it pure.
Intensive training on round 4 here. A quick pickup from Dzemp.
Yeah, I think
Which
people
seemed
have
like-
really liked that spell lately.
It's so strong.
Yeah, the specialist made people realize, like, I mean, a lot of people know it's good, but like, I feel like its popularity like improved even more with the specialist.
We just got a sledgehammer pickup there. Extended range sledge picked up for Tungdil. 2 more sledges picked up, as well as range on them.
Yeah, do you like that? I think it's cool, but do you think it's a strong play?
I think it's a viable play. I'm not quite sure how to judge this because I'm not a big sledge player myself, but it has been historically a really powerful card.
Yeah.
And yeah, those sledges are sitting at 165 range all of a sudden.
Yeah, the range is absolutely crazy. The question is, do you mind paying the stats, right? It hurts the HP and the attack here.
Yeah, you don't care about the HP too much because ideally they'll be sitting behind everything else. We'll have to see if they can get through the Fire Badgers, though, because these are level 4 all of a sudden. I guess I know what the intensive was used on.
Yeah, they're a menace. So much DPS. Look at that. 90k. Maybe gonna hit 100k. That'd be kind of crazy. Come on, come on, come on, come on. Oh my gosh, we hit the 100k damage. Oh, you still got one alive.
And that right one is just not dying.
Dang.
I wish we had a like damage tanked stat as well.
Yeah, for sure.
Smoke bomb shows up again, picked up quickly there for Dzemp. Had a lot of success with the incendiary, so willing to try his luck again. Tungdil, though, goes for the preemptive shield.
Yeah, another just ground. I mean, not a ground effect, but just a rectangle right over the right side of the board here. Gonna smoke everything. Looks kind of deadly. Oh, we get a bubble this time though. That'll be
It's not
nice.
quite far up though, and more Stormcallers here for Dzemp should get rid of those shields. And some of these sledges will definitely walk through the smoke regardless.
Yeah, I think so too. At least the storm is safe. Maybe the arc light will run out, unfortunately. Yeah, definitely a worthwhile smoke, I think.
Mech Rage here picked up for Tungdil on his sledgehammers.
Yeah, I think that's worth it. You're sort of committing to these sledges. I guess the question is, like, will he buy more in the future? But based on the fact that he did not this round, I think he might be done. Maybe, like, one more.
Yeah, you can just get away with probably buying a whole bunch of sledges as long as you have some form of anti-air, which
Yeah.
with the one first ear is maybe a bit questionable.
Yeah, for sure. Would you buy them blue if you were to buy more sledges?
You probably would have to, especially with double tech. It just makes sense.
Yeah, I'm thinking the same. Like, eventually, white sledges are just not relevant DPS anymore. And that's basically what they are. They're like chaff clear and like a little bit of DPS. Like, you can see them shooting the arc lights right now on the left, and like you can see how against a blue arc light, they just don't have enough firepower.
Yeah, they're trying their best though.
Oof,
And
I
it's
mean,
kind
ouch.
of close, but those Stormcallers are going to deal so much damage.
Yeah, was the sledge play too cute, do you think?
I mean,
These arcs look pretty good.
it's a good card, but you probably have to like judge what's going to happen. And yeah, this Fire Badger has been carrying hard for Zemp, and it's oh my,
Oh my god. That is the sickest play. Let's go.
that's so disgusting. Super heavy armor. They're now 69k hit points per Badger.
Just wild. I mean, that's like 68 shots from a sledgehammer to kill one. Like, this thing is like, we need like a melter or something. Like,
Yeah, I
yeah,
don't know. That looks
I think you need melter.
very scary.
Yeah.
Yeah, but playing Melter into that board doesn't feel good either, because the Melter gets outranged by your sledgehammers.
Yeah, no doubt. Yeah, I mean, I would expect it to just be game here. I mean, do you see anything strong? Okay, we're trying hackers, it looks like. I don't know. Maybe if you
But the
steal enough
hackers
arc
also
lights.
get outranged.
Oh, snap. Yeah, that's the weird thing about
That's
extended range sledge, right?
yeah, you basically can only play marksman with them because everything else gets outranged.
Yeah, really weird position. Like, maybe you weren't supposed to range the sledgehammers then, but, I mean, even then, it's a very dicey position.
And we do have a smoke available from Tungdil that he picked up. Has yet to put on the board. Okay, there we go. But I don't think this will make that big of a difference.
I think it does, like, nothing almost. Like, okay, the blue arc light will walk into it. The marksman should be sitting outside. I mean, sure, the Badgers run in. They don't care. These Badgers could be melee, and they'd still be a fantastic unit.
Yeah, their point is to tank either way. And yeah, look at this smoke on the right side. That shield was just not good enough.
Oh, yeah.
And the hacker is trying its best now to hack through this Fire Badger, but
Yeah, good luck.
it almost got there, but it's just not enough.
Maybe he
Okay,
steals one on the
will get
left.
hacked on the
Oh,
left. Yeah,
we have a Giga Fire Badger.
I mean we do, but that's about all we have. And Zemp has two available. Will now make his way through to the right tower.
Man, this might just be game, but honestly, I think the hackers were looking decent.
I mean, they did all right, but I think that smoke on the right side lingering for another round is just too much. And yeah, that'll be all she wrote.
Dang. I mean, if you look at the HP totals, that was a one-sided match.
It really was. Tungdil trying to do something a bit unusual, going for those extended range sledgehammers, and I think it would have been fine if not for that double level up on the Fire Badgers that Zemp went for. The intensive just paying off dividends and then
Yeah.
getting super heavy armor on the final round is yeah, a real gut shot.
Yeah, I have to say I would never do this line that Zemp did. Like, that's so ballsy to go for a level 5 Badger in standard. That's so cool. Puts it in the dead center too. They split in half every single round. Problems on both sides of the map. Pretty cool.
It just shows you the power of like some of these drops, right? Like early level 2 Badger, and
Yeah,
then yeah, just knowing how tanky they can get just shows you how much Dzemp has been playing the game.
absolutely. Now, looking at how this game played out, what do you think about these blue crawlers? Because there's a lot of level stuff that happened this game.
Yeah, I don't particularly like them. Uh, I don't think it's necessarily why Tungdil ended up losing,
Yeah, yeah.
but yeah, it's just it looks better than it actually is. Like you see chaff or like deployments and chaff deployments, and you're like, oh, it's gonna be useful, but in a standard game like this, when you're playing up against Arclights and they're probably just gonna get to shoot at your crawlers anyway, it's not the best.
Yeah, that makes sense. Well, that equals things up here. So now their tournament lifelines are on the line. That's going to be pretty stressful, I think. I mean, you got to feel bad after getting crushed that hard as Tungdil. But maybe he can just chalk it up to like, okay, I experimented, I cooked a little too hard. So maybe he'll just mentally reset and, you know, try and keep things pretty normal.
Yeah, and he managed to do well in round 1, right? In their first game, managed to get a massive round in there with those AA fortresses. So at least managed to give himself another chance in case something like this would happen.
Yeah, I mean, that game was so close, though. So maybe he's feeling like Zemp's looking really strong here.
I mean, that's, I guess, part of the playing in the tournament, right? Like, I think a lot of players here know that the skill levels are close and games can end up being close too.
Yeah.
And you might just end up facing a really tough opponent. But I mean, Tungdil is no slouch. 2.3k MMR, I mean, what are we talking about? Look at that stat sheet. 71% win rate.
Yeah, I mean, he's the favorite, I think. I mean, maybe he's not playing enough to, like, quite deserve that status, but, like, we all know he's an OG. Like, every time he comes back to Mechabellum, he's near the top, so...
Yep.
Yeah.
I mean, two big names there. 2360 MMR currently for Dzemp, and Tungdil sitting at 2.3.
Yeah, Dzemp definitely is capable of hitting really high peaks on ladder with multiple accounts, too. And, yeah, I mean, he's just always a solid player.
We haven't really seen those Sabertooth performing, however, for Tungdil. Maybe that's something that's affecting him.
Yeah, if anything, they've been sold today quite a bit. Like, we sold them to get the hackers online, which was a great move, by the way. I think that's part of the thing with 200 cost units is, like, you have to be ready to sell them for, you know, giants or what have you. I mean, in this case, just replacing it with another 200 cost unit, but, you know.
Yeah, and the amount of steel balls we see just makes them hard to play. It's just a really
True.
bad matchup for them.
Yeah, what do you think about hounds, too? Do you think hounds represent annoying chaff for them?
Oh, for sure. Sabers don't like fighting things like sledgehammers either because they can only kill one a time. And
Yeah.
I think it's actually like almost the same for the hounds. And they of course also come in a pack of 5.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so maybe the ecosystem not being super great here for Sabretooth, and of course the specialist getting, I mean, I think it's a nerf. Maybe eventually we'll find out it's a buff, but I don't know. If, like, I'm also spoiled because I thought I was gonna have it round 1, but now it's round 3. Like, that's a huge change.
It really is.
4, 3, 2.
Well, round 3,
1.
only 4 seconds away. Let's have a look at these packs, see what the players decide to go for.
Yep, tournament life on the line here. Big choices to be made. Marksman spec looked the most solid to me. I do like that from Dzemp here. Tungdil, let's see if he's going to go aggro or not. I would say none of these packs are super aggro except for speed, but are you really going to pick speed here? You could aerial. I don't know if he's an air player, though. Yeah, he loves giant. That makes more sense to me, but I think he may aggro with a pack like this. But does he like Sabertooths on standard? Maybe he does.
We have seen him play it, right? At least once.
I think so. He likes to put them on the wings, if I recall correctly. He creates a little, like, arc light plus saber plus fang, little sandwich there, and just puts them on both sides.
And that's exactly what's going to happen.
Yep.
Double arc here from Dzemp. Not sure I like that.
Yeah, what would you prefer?
I almost would be okay
Fangs,
buying
right?
2 marksmen. You could go fangs as well,
Marksman's.
but
Okay, yeah.
you need a little bit of extra DPS against the sabers, and I think you could be set up with marksman to just go like double Stormcaller on round 2.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas
Well,
now I feel like maybe you lack something, but he'll get the marksman on round 2, so maybe it's fine.
yeah, that's a good point. But I do like your thought there. I think the marksman does give him the highest equity win rate there. Now, I was gonna say maybe you could go into Phoenix if he doesn't buy anything here, but would he really want to go into Phoenix with his marksman?
Yeah, I think you just play marksman. It's probably the best scaling DPS in a range fight like this. And you can see the Arclights really struggle here, right? Because of the positioning. They just got locked onto the sabers and they didn't clear the fangs at all.
For sure. Definitely not feeling great about that one. Like the HP difference is already just massive, like almost 2k.
Yeah, these sledgehammer openers don't have a lot of hit points, sadly.
Yeah, no
Stormcaller,
doubt.
though, is perfect there for Dzemp.
Yeah, that's a pretty nice pickup, I'd say. And the other options don't seem super appealing. I'd say the Hounds are absolutely fine, but they're not like an all-star. They're not going to completely change up the battlefield. Whereas this Stormcaller, that is significant DPS.
We get the Hound pickup from Tungdil.
Yeah, not sure what to make of that. Maybe just fodder against the Marksman. Bit of extra chaff clear as well, I suppose. I mean, it can't be too bad.
Yeah, maybe. I mean, they don't really like getting hit by storms, though.
Yeah, that's true.
Not sure about this one.
No, I feel you. I feel like now this is a really strong moment here for Dzemp. Like, getting the Marksman, getting 2 Storms, that's like exactly what he needed.
It's a strong power spike turn. And I'm sure that it'll pay off on this given round. Arclights now actually do get something to shoot at because of the additional crawlers that have been added by Tungdil.
Yeah, the Arclight's looking good. I mean, everything's getting pretty good lock-ons here. We are locked on with the sledges, though, on the Saber. That's a bit unfortunate, so maybe gonna lose the right side. The left side's gotta win, though, right? Yeah. Maybe even the right side winning? Yeah, okay. Just winning both sides. I mean, that's kind of what I expected, to be honest.
Yeah, it's such a massive turn, right? Like, storms are just fantastic here, and Dzemp also gets his power spike from his specialist.
No doubt. We have extended range Stormcaller. Will Dzemp think about it?
I feel like you don't need to pick it here, because the Stormcallers probably have enough range already, and you can just take the intensive, but...
Yeah, I think it's like a risky card to take. Like, it's not free. It costs 50. Yeah, he just skips.
Wow. And look at that. Level 2 Worm there. So Worm purchased for Tungdil, decides to skip a deployment for it, and it immediately levels it up with the intensive training.
Yeah, such a cool play. I think it's almost certainly going to live, even in the face of the Orange Man, which is, of course, the level 3 marksman here. So, yeah, making good use of Giant SBC there. That Worm was free to unlock, and, you know, he can always sell that, sell that whole thing back and get a huge lump sum of money where that he can put into a completely different strategy.
What do you think of the positioning here, though? Pushing into the high-level storms and the high-level marksman?
Yeah, I'm kind of ambivalent. I think it's fine because most likely it'll
Wait,
live. And
what
then
is
you'll
going
farm.
on?
Yeah, I'm looking at this and I'm a little... Huh. Maybe it's a graphical bug? No, it didn't look like a graphical bug, right?
It wasn't attacking.
So
It
weird.
just lost half of its hit points doing nothing.
Paid actor. That's a paid actor.
What was that?
Huh.
Okay, well,
Alright.
at least it does kill all of the other things. Can it kill the Stormcallers? I don't know.
It
I guess
might
the
be able
debuff
to.
doesn't matter too much.
Yeah. Forward
Gotta be
that
safe
clip to
on the
bear
ground.
like, though.
That was so weird.
Surely it can't win, right? Can it? Oh, wait. Oh, it timed out. Okay. No harm, no foul. Stage fright.
I don't think it was attacking there. I have seen like some bugs where it seems like the worm is underground, but actually it's above ground. But
Yeah. Oh
wow,
my
that
god.
item, by the way, that's gross.
That is
Super heavy.
amazing.
Holy.
Ignite. Let's go.
Well,
What do you
Ignite is
what do you
kind of
think?
nice.
You like it?
Yeah, I quite like it. The nice thing is it won't really care about the hit points, right? Like it will kill anything within 16 seconds, no matter how big it is. So it will
Yeah.
definitely struggle now, though. I don't think he'll be able to kill the worm with 3 packs of fangs.
Yeah, I think that makes sense. And do you also have to range your fangs when you try this out?
Yeah, you do. Unless you have like a lot of fangs, and you can get into like fang shield, which is great as well.
Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, interesting to see how this will work out. I suppose he doesn't need to win this round. He's just sort of aiming for a long-term way to handle various giants. Because he's not
Yeah.
even committed to the worm, right?
Yeah, I mean, he hasn't clicked any text on it. He can just like sell it, retrieve the item, and then go back. And by the way, this Ignite is doing so much damage. Wait a second.
Holy
Wow.
smokes.
I did not expect that with the range arc lights, but the worm just completely melts.
Yeah, I wish you could see how much damage the fangs did from clicking on them, but unfortunately, we cannot.
Yeah, maybe that stage fright was, you know,
Yeah, foreshadowing or what?
yeah, like maybe he did really have something to be afraid of.
Dang.
Another intensive incendiary bomb available after the oil slick there that was dropped by Dzemp.
Yeah, we'll
Decides
see.
to fire the other side though.
Would you keep the worm in a spot like this? He is giant spec, so like it costed him nothing to unlock.
I
I'm
don't think
selling
he can
it,
make
I
it
think.
work. He doesn't really have the text to.
Yeah, like you just sell it. What would you do though? You could go air, but then again, there's marksman. Yeah.
It's a
I
bit
might try
tough
air.
because, yeah, you're in standard, so he's getting somewhat outskilled already with the arc advantage from Dzemp and all of the other units being more useful. So what you could do is try and just like double down Worm. He does run Strike, so you can try and kind of ball them up in a blender way like we used to do with Rhino, and just try and get in. Like the strikes will clear most of the chaff, and hopefully you can just like kill most of the things and get to tower.
Yeah, that makes sense. Let's say he had underground maintenance. Do you think that would be legit against the Ignite?
Yeah, I actually think it is somewhat of a counter to Ignite, because you can make sure that the worm at least burrows a couple times, and it heals so fast, you'll at least be able to regain some of the hit points that you lost.
Yeah, that's interesting. Well, this fire looks pretty dang good. Hounds are going to be gone. All the chaff's gone. Surely winning the right side here. Now, the same is true on the left side. Will the storms be safe? Oh, 2 of them poking out, unfortunately. Marksman going to burn as well.
Yeah, and it looks like the worm on the left side should be completely fine there.
Yeah, I think so, right?
Worm on the right, though, is definitely not having a good time.
Yeah, no doubt. It's so cool to see how well the Ignite Fang is doing. I mean, it's a well-known counter. This is not new, but it's just performing so well.
We got the replicate, by the way, on those sandworms, so do have some Lars.
Yeah, I think that's kind of nice because they'll take the Ignite hits, which is really important, of course.
But again, though, just not managing to get through the fangs in time.
Yeah, brutal. Brutal outcome.
I think I would have liked... Oh, we get unidrops.
Okay, okay. What does Tungdil need? Phantom Rays with armor?
I mean, I'm not sure that that does anything.
It keeps the Ignite Fangs from killing it, but yeah, I'm not sure either.
Goes for the Wasp instead, which is usually a decent pickup with the Sandworms, but he doesn't run Sandstorm, so that play isn't available.
Yeah, and the Melter here for Dzemp is just like so stable, so safe, right?
Yeah, it's just a nice bit of extra DPS in case you get some air units or whatever. Wow, we get... Wait.
Yeah, same reaction for me. I mean, is it good against the larva? Like,
Energy Diffract I really don't like. I get that it is like meant to be against the larva, but it's not a good unit in standard. Now Tungdil admittedly is low on hit points, so maybe he can gut shot, but
yeah, I mean, this is also like not a standard game to be fair. Like it is like on technically this is a standard game, but like man, what a weird
I mean
situation here.
it isn't, but it is, right? Like again, the
Yeah.
worms here can just be sold, or even he has a baseline of Arclight, so he could just like play Melter himself or something.
Yeah, I don't disagree with that. That is true. But I feel like his board kind of sucks. So I think he like has to try this like desperate worm thing. But I feel like what you said about
Yeah.
strike makes sense. Like maybe strike is what he needs. I love strike. I think
Well,
it's such a powerful tech.
yeah, the sad bit about it is like a lot of people used to just play Arclights and then they get easy access to EMP, so it just doesn't end
Oh
up
right.
working.
Mm-hmm.
Well, the multi-melters are doing decent against all of those wasps as well, and yeah, those worms are just not doing anything.
Yeah, brutal to see here. The Melta,
Another...
as the Dzemp calls them, the Melta.
It is his favorite unit, so maybe we should start calling it that as well. Heavy armor picked up for Tungdil. That's not going to help against the Ignite, though.
Surely more HP is what we need, right? We don't have enough.
I somehow don't think that that's true, but... Do you ever just go Melter here? Like Melter range? Like sell one of your worms?
If he did this like 3 turns ago, yes, but I feel like his position is like so all in. Like I think his board is just significantly worse than the opponent's. So he has to keep doing what he's doing.
Yeah, I guess like you're lacking some deployments, but if he could get into somehow like Stormcaller Melter, then he would be in a good spot. Oh, he actually does go triple Storm.
Yeah, I mean, I definitely agree with you. Actually, this is kind of a cool play. The problem is that there's like bubbles in front, so the fire will land at like the tip of the bubble. The fangs will remain safe. We'll see if like further shots can help him out, and I don't think Tungdil can one-shot Dzemp here. So AMDs will come out in the future, and yeah, we'll have to see.
Yeah, I think you... I feel like you maybe just do try to sell. I don't know what you would do with it, though. But if he gets one more round and he gets into Melter...
Yeah, no, I feel you. I
truly,
mean, it makes sense.
I truly do think he stands a chance. But this is kind of the really important round. Like, he needs to win this, and then maybe he's in with a chance. If he loses here, well, obviously he'll die, because...
Yeah. No, it makes sense. You got to play to your outs here. But yeah, I mean, I really like the firestorms. I think if you're staying in worms, like you need to kill these fangs, right? So like either strike tech or fire, something like that. A lot of fangs are burning.
Yeah, the fire is doing quite nicely, and that worm traveling on the diagonal actually is managing to avoid a lot of the fangs.
Yeah, cool
Maybe
path
this
there.
Yeah, this is a really nice play from Tungdil, because I don't think he was in a... Well, he was in a really bad spot, and I think he might have just managed to find an out.
Very possible. I mean, he's got a bunch of wasps, too, with range tech, so, like, he's got a nice diversification to his army. He's got air threats, he's got chaff. Now with fire, really neutralizing the fangs. Yeah, he could have a shot,
Look
maybe.
at this. Oh, the Diffract. It does nerf the damage from the Melter, so it just doesn't quite have the juice needed to get rid of that big sandworm.
Yeah. Crazy. Okay, maybe we got a comeback starting here. I'm curious to see if we see more worm techs. Oh, speed? That could be sweet.
Yeah, I'm not sure, though. My gut feeling is just like it would be way better for him to just try and transition back into a long-range game, because you've seen that commitment into multi-melter.
Right, right. Yeah, it's very possible. But I mean, I think it's too late now. Do you think it's still not too late?
I don't think it is.
Okay, okay.
I mean, he is just teching more into storms here, though.
Yeah, I love it. I think Dzemp should literally make 8 anti-missile devices.
Well, we see 2 of them. He's got a little bit of extra cash. Doesn't look like there'll be more purchased, though.
More storms. It's a lot of storms. I mean, if they all live, that's a lot of damage. Oh, this oil, though.
Oh, that oil is a bit scary.
Kills quite a bit, yeah. Not much you can do about it, right? Like, how would you stop that as Tungdil?
Yeah, I mean, you'd have to shield.
Yeah, I suppose so.
Well, let's see. Can these Stormcallers pull another miracle? They looked really good last turn. We go for kind of a similar beacon there, but now more so ending on the left tower.
We're also going to be speedy here. We got an advanced power system and temp speed clicked. Our crawlers can just run through.
Yeah, I'm not sure that I like it so much because it makes it so that the fangs don't advance as far.
Yeah, exactly. It's a weird trade-off. It might be actively bad. It's a tough call.
Worm, though, doing a pretty decent job there. At least 1 melter will be gone. They do have the range now.
We just have so many storms, right?
Yeah, the storms are actually looking really good.
Well, these
But
melters
can
are
they deal with
pretty
this
tanky.
massive melter? Yeah, this one on the left has basically 140k hit points with the portable shield.
Oh, the multi-melt's actually good against the storms. Killing multiple at once. Very handy.
Oh,
Dang.
Dzemp will
taking
take
it.
Yeah, game 3 goes over to him. It was kind of close there at the end, but the melt is just too far ahead, too tanky.
Yeah, absolutely. Unfortunate for our 301 player. He did great last season, and he was looking pretty strong today, but Dzemp got the better of him in this final game. They brought it to a game 3, though.
Yeah, I feel like I just want to see like if Tungdil would have gone for the different line, because I think he could have sold out a Sandworm. I'm not sure that I like the replicate tech so much though, which got picked up quite early. But if he just didn't commit so much, and then yeah, somehow we would have seen multi-melt come out, maybe we wouldn't though. But I think he had time to get into like melters here.
Yeah, I strongly agree. I mean, he had so many rounds to do it, right? Like, the moment that Ignite comes out and you lose that round, you can just sell the worm at that moment, right? And then he had multiple rounds after that that you still thought it was fine for him to change. So, like, yeah, he had so much time, but he just, I guess he didn't think it was legit. He just wanted to keep trying.
It's a pretty like tough matchup, but indeed, I think as soon as you see Ignite Fang come out and you see that worm just not perform, it's best to try and get into Stormcallers like he did, because it actually did win him a round, and then just play for the long range game. Like, try to get into like Melter Storm if you can.
Yep. For sure.
It's that, or you ball them all up in a blender and you click strike.
Yep, that also makes sense.